Hello and welcome to Our Time. Portia Stanton Noble is a Mid-North author with a murder mystery romance series of 4 books so far. Her most recent was released in September entitled Dead Goes the Neighbourhood. She's in the process of writing book number 5 and it's all set where she lives. She's the real Jessica Fletcher from Murder, She Wrote. And she's from Saddleworth.
Yes, I am, yes.
I thought you were going to dress up for tonight.
I did. I dressed up just for you.
I know. Is that an Estonian look?
Yeah, it probably is. I've got my Estonian amber beads on because you always have that on.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I've probably gone a little bit far out with my gold headpiece.
Well, no, not at all. Yeah. Now, what got you writing murder mysteries?
Well, actually, that's an interesting question. I just started with an idea about 5 years ago. I didn't know where it was going to take me. It was hard to get the first chapter on the page.
Right.
But so I got through the first chapter and then I came to the end of it and I thought, oh, where am I going to go with this? And then it popped into my head, I might as well put a murder in there, you know?
Of course.
So why not, you know? So yeah, it turned out to be a murder mystery with the romance coming through, the comedy as well.
Right.
There's a few sex scenes too, just to spice it up. But yeah, I found out because I had years where I had writer's block.
Right.
And
have you always written?
Yeah, I have,
Like
since
as a
I was
young
8
girl
years
at
old.
school?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I loved writing, you know.
And what did you write about then? Were you in Saddleworth then too?
No, no, I came from Melbourne.
Okay.
So,
Of course.
with the family.
Everyone would want to go to Saddleworth if you'd come from Melbourne.
Well, that's right.
Sorry to all our people viewing in Melbourne.
That's
Move
right.
to Saddleworth.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
you've got a hotel in Saddleworth. We'll show that later.
Yes, I do, yeah. But yeah, I started writing when I was young, but it was more children's stuff I was doing.
Well, you write what you know, really, don't
Exactly, so that's what I was writing
you? So who
from.
did you murder?
In this book, it was a homeless man, actually.
Oh,
But
that you murdered?
No.
Oh, in the book, yeah.
In
in
this
the
book,
you
yes,
murdered.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But if you write from what you know, who did you murder? That's a terrible question to ask.
That's all right. But anyway, yes, it is sort of a long story, but I'll keep it short. So I finished the first 2 chapters of the book that I was writing 5 years ago. And then I decided, because I didn't know where it was going to go, I then wrote the last 2 chapters. So then I knew exactly how the whole thing was going to play out.
You know that often, I'm sure everybody that's ever watched a murder mystery on TV has got to think, how on earth did they work that out? How did they... And you're trying to piece together, and I'm sure you've got red herrings in the book all the way through.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And you're trying to piece together now, and then you get to the last few pages of the last chapter and you think, oh, why didn't I see that coming?
Yes, that's right. And that's what I try to create, because you don't see it coming. I have so many twists and turns through the books, and plus there's the relationships as well, because you want to know what happens with these relationships.
Of course.
And then that moves you through to the next book, the sequel.
Okay, but that's the romance part.
That's the romance
as well.
part, yes. Yeah.
So because you're living in Saddleworth, how long have you been living there?
7 years now.
Okay, was there something that happened in Saddleworth? Saddleworth is up sort of northish from Adelaide, in South Australia. Was there something that happened that you thought, oh, yes, I could turn that into a story? No,
it just suddenly I don't know, moved there.
Came to you in a dream?
And yeah, sometimes things do come so it does happen. But I just suddenly, I don't know, it just happened. And I found out since then there's a lot of Mid-North authors. Lilly Barret is another one that lives in Saddleworth.
And we're going to meet another one in the next segment.
Yes, you will. Yes, that's right. And Alice is another poet that lives there. You know, we've got a few authors around.
What do you think then makes people come together like that? As you're saying, there's quite a few people that are authors in the area. What is it, living in the country? Is it you've got more time to think, you're not in the rat race as much? What is it?
I think it is too. And plus, it's a more sense of community as well. A lot of us are volunteers in various groups in the country, you know.
Right.
And I don't know, it's just a friendly, good place to live.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because we all think we need to live in the city where things are bustling around.
Yeah, no.
But we often forget that it's the human interaction with
That's
people.
right.
It makes their life interesting.
And I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. I lived in Adelaide and Melbourne for years.
Right.
And once I came out to the country, it was like a whole new world.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? So your first book was called?
The Big Dead Dry.
Okay, is that one of these?
Yes,
Or is
it's the
that
first one there.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
And how did you get to publish that? Was that difficult to find a publisher?
Yes, it was. Australian publishers were not interested at all. I eventually went through to the UK, and I went with Austin Macaulay. Very happy with them. They've been very good to me, and we've done the whole series together.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. So this story led to the next story, or is it a completely different story?
Well, initially it was supposed to be a standalone book, but I got to the end of the book, and as I said, I wrote those 2 chapters, and then I realised I had a way to take it to the next book.
Right.
So it kind of wrote itself to become a sequel.
Did you write the end again first?
Yes, for
To
the
go
second
backwards?
book. Yes,
Right.
yeah, for the second book.
Well,
as
that's interesting because I've not heard that method before. I sort of,
It worked for me because it
whatever
makes
works.
people tell me that when they read the books, they say the beginning is strong and the ending is strong, and even everything in between is all right too, because I know which direction I'm going.
Did you have somebody who reads the book, an editor? Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. Did you have an editor go through the book?
Oh yes. Oh, well, Austin Macaulay do that as well.
Oh, okay.
But yes, I use my mother as a bit of a buffer. So.
Best way. So did you type everything out? It was all, or you,
Yes,
you didn't
all
write
the
the whole thing in longhand?
No,
like
no, it's all
some
on the
authors
computer.
used to. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because you can spell check and
That's right.
sort out everything else.
Yeah.
Makes life so much easier.
And I go through quite a few edits as well.
Right. That's the hardest thing, though, isn't it? I've read that, read that. I've talked to quite a few authors on the program and written a book myself. So you're very conscious of, are there too many words? Have I gone on too far with that bit of the story? So you wrote that book, then you wrote that book.
No, that's the third
Oh,
one.
that's number 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
And we've got a picture here of the 4th book that you've written.
That's right, yes.
And
There
that's
it is.
this one there.
Yeah. Dead Goes
Dead
the
Goes
Neighbourhood.
the Neighbourhood.
That one takes place in a circus, but it's
looks
still
like-
linked with the series. It's still
Do you
the
feel
series.
you're going to write an ongoing series of books?
No, this is it. That was the last one.
Okay, but you're writing another one now.
Oh, yes, I am,
That you've
yes.
already got the title page for.
Yes, I have. Yes, that's the Life She Never Had.
Is that a murder mystery too?
No, this is completely different.
So you're moving into a different genre.
Yeah, this one is a bit science fiction-y
Right.
and a romance comedy.
Does living up in the country, do you think it gives you more expansive thought that you don't have to set it in any particular place? Like so many stories are set in cities.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's good to get away from that. But there is a lot of authors now writing rural noir, which is like murder mystery out in the outback. There's a lot of that going on, and so that interests
Do you
me.
write with the thought that perhaps there's a movie in this in the future? Who
I
would
can
make that happen
visualise.
for you?
Well, producer would be good, but yes, no, I visualise that these could be a very good series.
Any role there for a handsome young man in his mid-50s?
Of course, yes.
Well, it isn't me. I've just not me.
okay, I
Sorry,
thought it was you.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the other girls that are involved in writing their own books, when you do get together, what do you discuss? Do you try and work out, how am I going to go with this? Where does that story lead? Do you contribute to each other's work, or is it just having somebody to feel we all understand each other because we're all motivated to do this?
Well, I think that's the key, that we are all motivated to do this. But Lilly Barret, for example, she's a romance writer. So she's completely different to what I do. I do the murder mystery, like I said, the combination of it.
But you've just had an event, haven't you?
Yes, we have. Oh, yes, that's right. Yes, we did have the Saddleworthy Book and Art event.
Or Saddleworthy, I
Yes,
like
that's
that.
right, yes.
Do you know the history of Saddleworth and why it was called Saddleworth, just absolutely got nothing to do with your book.
It's actually, it was a UK, there's a town in the UK called Saddleworth.
Oh,
So it
okay.
came from
So,
there.
no, it had nothing to do with horses and saddles.
I don't think so.
Not there.
No,
Okay.
no.
So tell us quickly about the event that's just happened.
Yes, it was a very good turnout. We had 18 authors and 6 artists, local ones.
Right. See, we don't often think about these things happening in the country.
And we were sponsored by the Clare and Gilbert Valley Council as well for the event.
Well, getting councils in as well. Now, who are we meeting next here?
Oh, Lilly Barret.
Our next guest.
Yes, that's right.
So we'll be back with Lilly Barret in just a bit. Welcome back. Portia Stanton Noble is my guest, and I'm joined by Lilly Barret, who is also from
Saddleworth.
Isn't that amazing? How come all these people that are writing novels come from Saddleworth?
I didn't
Are
originate.
you breeding them?
I didn't originate in Saddleworth either. I'm an import also.
Where from?
Well, I was born in Port Augusta, so I'm a South Australian girl, but we moved to Kalgoorlie for 23 years.
Right.
So we did a lot of touring around WA.
Yeah.
And my husband worked as a supervisor underground in one of the gold mines.
Oh, right.
So he worked long days, and my girls moved out, and I thought, I'm stuck by myself all Christmas holidays, what am I going to do? So
And
I
you
thought,
started writing.
I'll write a book.
And this book here was your first book?
That was my
this
first,
one here.
yes. And it took me 4 weeks.
Is that all?
Once I started, I couldn't stop.
Right. So you just kept writing.
I just
Where
kept
did the
writing.
inspiration come from?
Um,
You didn't do what Portia
I-
did,
I-
right at the beginning and the end,
No,
and work
Paul,
out the middle.
we have completely different styles. Like Portia works to a plan. I just start writing. I have no plan. I have no ending. It just happens.
How do you finish the book then if you've got no ending?
It just happens. And this one was the first in a series, so I didn't actually
Okay,
have
so
to.
this first one is called,
Eternally Mia's.
and I've got some of the others here.
Yes.
Look, you've written a whole lot here. Look, oh, hang on, how will I do this? I'll do this like this. There's,
That one's Always Noah's, that's book 3.
yeah,
And this one is Forever Noah's, book 2.
hold that for me
And
for a
so
minute.
these 3 books are the Western Australian series,
Right,
and they're all set around the lower part of WA, around Albany and
Right.
Mount Barker and
and
the
that's
pretty area.
Country Hearts.
Yeah, Country Hearts is about a country singer, and Dalton's Haven is set in a little town called Esperance
Oh,
in WA.
a real town.
It is. It is.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're writing though, you're sitting in, I guess, in front of a computer. And do you stare at the blank page like everybody thinks writers do and have
Not for
bad
these
days?
ones.
They
Not-
just wrote themselves.
They just wrote
Where
themselves.
does it come from? For both of you, we've already talked about that for you,
Yes.
Portia, but where does it come from for you?
Honestly, I have no idea. I have no
Well,
idea. I
okay.
don't even know what I've written half the time until I read it back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And do you think it comes from sort of a dream state? Does it come from...
You kind of get into the zone where it's just flowing, you know, and as I said, sometimes I don't even know what the words are. I'm just writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I find interesting is what makes somebody want to write a story?
I loved English in school.
Did you write before though? Did you write as a child?
I did. In high school, I started a story, a novel in high school, and then I went nursing, you know, got married, babies, all of that stuff got in the way. And I kept thinking, later on, when I'm retired, I'm going to write. I'm going to write a story.
Well, you've written a lot of stories so far.
And I have, yeah.
Let's talk about this Saddleworth event though, because
Yes.
I find the reason that we're talking to you is because Portia contacted Channel 44 here in Adelaide, and they let me know that you existed. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get you to air before the Saddleworth event, but it's an annual event, isn't it?
Yes,
right.
we had one last year, we had this one, and we are kind of planning for next year, but we're taking a little break at the moment.
So last year, we've got a photo of this. Last year, you had someone performing who, in fact, we've had on the show with her snakes,
Yeah,
which crawled up my arm.
yeah,
Flavella, that's Flavella. And she was performing there,
she was.
and I can see what looks like a band behind. So was it a real country sort of mashup of people that were involved with writing and painting and the arts generally?
Yeah, we had artists and authors this time.
Okay,
Last
this
year
is
it
the
was
Lord,
just-
or the Mayor, sorry, the
Yes.
Mayor of, is it Saddleworth?
Yes,
well,
Claire.
Claire.
Oh,
Valley.
Claire, okay.
Yeah. He's he's very out
And
there.
that wouldn't be
our
you
man.
in the middle.
Yes, that
It's
is
the
me.
Hat Queen.
Yes, that's me.
And the other lady, is she also a writer?
That's Penny Pratt.
Penny Pratt,
The
she's the
MP.
MP, our local
Oh,
MP.
silly me.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, there's a whole bunch of people here. Who are all these people?
Oh, yeah, this is on my side again. That's the Estonian Festival Committee.
Right. Is there a big Estonian group there, or is it just you've all discovered each other?
Oh, no, we've got it. Oh, no, not in Saddleworth.
Not in Saddleworth.
This is in North Adelaide.
Oh, okay.
At the Estonian Hall.
Oh,
but
right,
I'm
right.
involved with them at the moment because they're having the Estonian Festival at the end of this year.
Oh, this is the end of December, isn't
Yes,
it?
that's right, end of December.
Right.
So, yeah.
So if you're
I'm-
Estonian, you should be popping along to the Estonian Hall at North
Definitely.
Adelaide.
Yes, you should be, yes.
A bit of a knees up Mother Brown.
That's
What would
right.
you, oh, this is your hotel.
Yes, that's my home.
Is it haunted?
No, I haven't felt any
Or there must be a story in that.
spirits. No, there isn't,
Not yet?
honestly.
Not
no,
yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Now, we were talking about other authors in the area. So did you all find each other accidentally? Did you all know each other existed? How did you get everyone together?
I had heard of Fiona McIntosh and Monica McInerney. I've read their books. I had no idea that they were also based in the Clare Valley. We haven't met, but I know they're there. And, you know, they know that we're there also, but they're very, very big authors compared to us. We're just small fry.
Yeah, so far. So
Yeah,
far.
so far.
That's right.
So far. And getting publishers for your work, was that difficult for you?
I self-published. Completely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's two completely different models.
Completely.
And one of the good things for me about doing a program like this is meeting people like you to give people encouragement to sort of realise that you can actually do it yourself.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
often you spend a lifetime thinking about what you might want to do, but you just sometimes need that little push over the edge to say, well, if these girls can do it, so can I.
We had another author in Saddleworth who was he was kind of writing a book for an old lady who'd passed, and she had a book about wildflowers, and she'd documented every wildflower in the region, and he wanted to publish it, so I helped him self-publish that book for
And
them.
that's how you learned how to do it.
Well, no, I knew how to do it after 6 books, so I helped him do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's another shot of you in your hotel.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I
Yes.
think you're about to burst into song there.
Yeah.
I love
I
it.
only just bought the hotel, so I think that's why I look very.
Oh, okay. So you're very proud, and there's your grand piano in the corner.
Yes, I just purchased that actually.
And that's Portia's bar.
Of course it is. It's amazing.
It's huge.
Well, with this Saddleworth event each year, what's the plan for the future? Because when's it on, first of all, so we can all prepare for next year to come to Saddleworth?
We're kind of thinking we'll make it later than grand final day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we accidentally made it grand final day. So we're thinking we'll take
It's
it a
hard
month.
when you've got to plan everything so far in advance.
I know. Yeah.
At grand final day, you mean people stayed and watched it on TV at home or something?
I think so.
How dare they?
Exactly. Exactly.
And what actually happens? Run through the day for us.
Planning starts 6 months in advance, but we have authors coming from all over the states. So normally we are there at like 7:30 a.m. and normally there's an author or two knocking on the door.
And what happens at the event?
And well, everybody is just, they all have a table and they bring their books or they bring their artwork and they just showcase it to the public. You can buy the books, you can get them signed by the author, you know, and they also have talk time as well.
Book talks.
Yeah, and this year we had a poetry workshop also.
Okay, so that's to help people understand how to write poetry?
Yes, yes,
And the talk fest that you had
yes.
was from writers talking to perhaps writers?
Future writers, hopefully. Yeah, writers just saying a bit about their book, how they got started, you know, what they do and whatever. Everybody's story is different, so it's really nice to hear somebody else's.
Well, that's the beauty of literature, isn't it?
It
Everybody's story is different. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And there was a good buzz in the room too.
It was
we did
really
notice
great.
people were, you know, imparting their advice to each other. It was very nice there as well. And plus we had a publisher there as well, local publisher, and she was on hand if anyone was thinking about writing a book and needed some assistance there.
Do you think it was an opportunity for people to sort of find their tribe?
Exactly.
Yeah, it is very much.
Exactly. A lot of people came from far and wide for that reason, you know, just to see, I've got a book, I'm thinking about writing a book, you know, just to see the process, talk to the writers.
Isn't it good? How do you think sort of the new way of consuming literature on a tablet as opposed to a hard copy, which would you prefer?
Well, I love my hard copies, but I actually have over 1,000 books on my e-reader. So because I can put it in my purse and I can go anywhere with that. And
are you the same?
No, I'm book.
she wants a book.
You
I like
the
the feel of a book.
and the
always.
pictures come to mind as it happens.
Exactly.
I get it. Hold the thought for the next segment and we'll be back in a tick, everyone. Lilly, Barret and Portia Stanton Noble have been my guests in this episode of Ad Time, both authors. Isn't it nice that there's no sex of author? You're an author whether you're a male or female.
Exactly.
What a joy.
Yes.
So we're all equal, isn't that pleasant?
Yeah.
We were talking about the event that you've just had that
Yes.
we've unfortunately missed on this program, but next year it's going again ahead and people can find out about it through Facebook.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So what's it called on Facebook? Because we've just made this instant decision.
Yeah, it's called Saddleworthy Book and Art Event
In Saddleworth.
in Saddleworth.
And it'll be around,
It'll be around October, November at this stage,
you
yes.
haven't picked a time.
No.
Is there a committee that's put all this together or is
No,
it just
it's
you?
we
right?
are.
just
the
us.
committee.
We're it.
Oh, you two are the committee.
We're it.
Good on you, I'd say.
We're the organisers.
Well, good on you from a lot of different angles because what you need is community-minded people to say, we've got this, we're going to make it happen.
Exactly.
And what you did was writing into the station to let us know that it was happening. And I said, well, we may not be able to get it to air by the time, you know, that it's happened.
Yeah.
But next year,
Next year it's going to be great.
let me
Bigger
know
and
again
better.
and we'll see if we can get you on again before the event.
That's a good
That'd be
idea.
And find out who else you've got coming. Because that the good thing we've just discovered is it's also for general visual arts as well.
Yes.
That's right, yes.
And the other event, there's is there a nighttime event after it? Is it like...
No, not really. By the end of the day, everybody's, you know, pretty well had enough and want to go home.
Okay, well start,
It's a long day.
Start the music and entertainment
Yeah.
at 4 o'clock. That's the trick.
That's
Chuck them
it.
out at 6.
That's it.
I mean, you should be very proud of yourselves for making this happen.
Thank you.
Because it's what we need. We need people to be up and get at it. But also I think you're a great example to people who have been thinking, I'd love to be involved with this. I love reading books. I've got all these stories in my head. I
Yeah.
just need to get them out.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
we know that there are certain organisations that have, like the WEA, have how to write a book type
Yes.
thing. There's a lot of community things happening. Perhaps you need to start that up there. Although you did that on the day, didn't you?
Well, we kind of did, yeah. It was.
Good on you.
It was, pretty full on.
Well, it's been
everybody
a-
asking questions and
Yeah,
needing
it's
help.
been an absolute pleasure to meet you both.
You too.
And I do love your headdress, and I'm so glad you wore it.
Thank you.
And just one last time, the community event on at the end of December
Yes,
is
the Estonian Days, and it's at the Estonian House
okay
in North Adelaide.
here in Adelaide and North Adelaide. Thanks, girls. Safe
Thank
trip
you.
all the way back. Your 2-hour drive. Be
Yes.
safe. Be happy. Same to you. Be safe. Be happy. Keep yourself nice. Till next time we meet.